Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Novasa Adiyani from Group 4. Before that, I would like to introduce my group that consists of Risa, Dinda, Sari, Enjun Junaedi, and Asih Qoriati. So here, from Group 4, we'll explain you about lexical semantics related to sense relations. Okay, here, I would like to present you about the definition of sense relation. Sense relation is a paradigmatic relation between words or predicates. There are several kinds of sense relation as a result of the semantic relatedness between the form and meaning, and between two meanings, which will be discussed in the following. Okay, so there are several kinds of sense relation. The first is synonymy, and then polysemy, hyponymy, and antonym. But I would like to present you about hyponymy first. Hyponymy is the state or phenomenon that shows that relations between more general term or lexical representation and the more specific instances of it. The construct forms of sets of words, the specific instances are called hyponyms. For example, I will give you example. The lexical representations of red, yellow, blue, green, purple, black is color. Thus, we can say that red is a hyponym of color and so on. Okay, that's all my explanation. So the next explanation will be explained by Enjun Junaedi. Thank you.
We can form hyponymous sets where no single word hyponyms exist in English. Example: male giraffe, female giraffe, baby giraffe. Hyponym relations vary from language to language. Example: Greek has superordinate terms of include a variety of occupations. Hyponymy involves entailment. To say this is a tulip entails this is a flower. But even the tulip and flower are also plant, and the tulip and flower are both co-hyponyms of plant. We need further to specify that flower is a immediate hyponym of plant, and the tulip is immediate hyponym of flower. This kind of analysis form the basis of Carnap's meaning postulates. Meaning postulates is where it is suggested that the meaning of lexical items that can be stated in terms of such entailments. Synonymy. Synonym is used to mean sameness of meaning. We can in fact define synonymy as symmetric hyponym. Example: all matrices are traces and all traces are matrices. But this doesn't solve the many practical problems that we must face. English is rich in synonyms for the historical reason that its vocabulary has come from two different sources. Anglo-Saxon, considered to be native, well, from French, and the second is Latin or Greek, foreign, borrowed from this language. It can maintain that there are no real synonyms, that two words have exactly the same meaning. First, some sets of synonyms belong to different dialects of the language. Example: fall used in United States and some Western countries in Britain would use autumn. Secondly, there is a similar situation, but a more problematic one, with the words that are used in different styles. Example: natty smell might be inappropriate setting and horrible stink. Uh, Another possibility is to investigate the opposites. Perhaps the fact that two words appear to have the same antonyms is a reason for treating them as synonyms. Synonyms are often said to differ only in their connotations. It often refers to emotive or evaluative meaning, which is not usually distinguished from cognitive meaning. It is also used to refer to stylistic or even dialectical differences, or even to the small differences that are found in near synonyms. It sometimes also suggests that words become associated with certain characteristics with the item to which they refer. These are two other phenomena that are sometimes handled under synonymy. First is context-dependent synonymy, where two items appear to be synonymous in a particular context. They are related in terms of hyponym, one term being more specific than the other. Second, synonym is between bull and male adult bovine animal, but this is not a natural linguistic phenomenon. It's treated by the linguist for purpose of definition and paraphrase. It relates more to componential analysis. Antonymy. Antonymy is used for oppositeness of meaning. Words that are opposite are antonyms. It is a regular and natural feature of a language. Sapir implicitly graded antonymy. He argued that wide, old, and big can only be understood in terms of being wider, older, bigger than something, some norm or other. This adjective also graded against different norms according to the item. Example: a small elephant being bigger than a big mouse. For most of antonyms, a set of relationships hold between the comparative form. Example: the road is wider than the land. These are related both in terms of simple reversal, switch of antonyms, and more and less relationships. Since antonyms are gradable, there are often intermediate terms. Example: besides hot or cold, we also know hot, warm, cool, and cold. A further points that one each pair one of the terms is the marked term and the other are marked in that only one is used simply to ask about the degree of gradable quality. We say how high is it, with no implication that it is high, but the other term is not so used. It is the marked term. How narrow is it? Imply that the object in question is actually narrow.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Risa Dinda, number student 37, and I would like to explain you about relational opposite. Opposition is a semantic relation in which one word has a sense or meaning that negates or is, in the sense of scale, distant from a related word. A relational antonymy is one of a pair of words that refer to a relationship from opposite points of view. There is no lexical opposite of teacher, but teacher and pupil are opposite within the context of their relationship. This makes them relational antonyms. Other examples include husband-wife, doctor-patient, predator-prey, servant-master, come-go, and parent-child. A number of terms referring to spatial position also belong here, above or below, in front of, behind, not of, and sort of. In a grammar, to active and passive exhibit relational opposition. Terms involved in relational opposition may be transitive, e.g. both above and below. If the picture is above the table and the table above the carpet, the picture is above the carpet, and similarly for below. Next is polysemy and homonym. Sameness of meaning is not very easy to deal with, but there seems nothing inherently difficult about difference of meaning. Not only do different words have different meanings, it also the case that the same words may have a set of different meanings. This is polysemy. Such a word is polysemic. Thus, the dictionary will define the word flight in at least the following ways: passing through the air, power of flying, air journey, unit of the Air Force, folly decoration, series of steps, yet there are problems even though this apparently simple concept. The dictionary has to decide whether a particular item is to be handled in terms of polysemic or homony. Because polysemic item will be treated as a single entry with a homonymous, one will have a spare entry for each or homonym. There is some complication in the fact that we do not make the same distinction in writing and speech. Thus, lead metal and lead joke lead are spelled in the same way but pronounced differently. Will side and right are spelled differently but pronounced in the same way. For the former, the term homography may be used for the letters homophone. There are a number of possible ways of answering the question. First, dictionary usually base their decision upon etymology. For instance, we should not usually relate pupil student with the pupil of the eye, or the sole of a shoe with the feet sole. Yet historically they are from the same origin and as such as are example of polysemy. Secondly, we may ask whether we can make any general remarks about difference of meaning. Are regular types of difference found in the meaning of various words? For is it reasonable to suggest where the differences are regular and to some degree predictable? We have polysemy rather than homophony. Third, and rather different way of attempting to establish polysemy rather than homonym is to look for a central meaning or a core of meaning. This is possible where I have example of metaphor or the transfer meaning we note for set and score, but in general it's very difficult to decide whether there is any central core meaning. And fourth, we can perhaps use the test ambiguity. I went to the bank seems to be clearly ambiguous, since bank can make either refer bank or the place that deals with money, but decisions are not always easy. Kill is used to refer either to murdering or killing accidentally. The commandment "thou shalt not kill" is to be understood in the first sense. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me to continue the material. 5.5 Relational opposites. A quite different kind of opposite is found with pairs of words which exhibit the reversal of a relationship between items. There are several verbs that are pairs in this way: buy and sell, lend and borrow, rent and lend, own and belong to, and give and receive. There are also nouns. The examples are husband and wife, parent and child, teacher and pupil. A number of terms referring to special position are above and below, in front of and behind, and etc. 5.6 Polysemy and homonymy. Sameness of meaning is not very easy to deal with, but there seems nothing inherently difficult about difference of meaning. Not only do different words have different meaning, it also the case that the same word may have a set of different meaning. This is polysemy, such a word in polysemic. Thus, the dictionary will define the word flag in at least the following ways: passing through the air, power of flying, air journey, discretion, and etc. Yet there are problems even with this apparently simple concept. A more practical problem is that if one form has several meanings, it's not always clear whether we should say that this is an example of polysemy, that there are one word with several meanings, or of homonymy, that there are several words with the same shape. For example, there are 5 words for male. There are atmore, post, halfpenny, payment, and spot. This multiplicity of meaning is not confined to the words of the dictionary. It also found with grammatical elements in the English past tense has the different meaning. Multiplicity of meaning is a very general characteristic of language. 5.7 Components. Component is the total meaning of a word being seen in terms of a number of distinct elements of component of meaning. The notion of component does not introduce a further kind of relation. Rather, it proposes over a theoretical framework for handling all the relations we have been discussing. In English, there is a threefold division with many words that refer to living creatures: men, women, and children; wool, coal, and calf; run, aim, and life. Analysis of this kind, componential analysis, allow us to provide definition to all these words in terms of a few components. This word is forcing, male, dog, and so on. A particular characteristic of componential analysis is that it attempts, as far as possible, to treat components in terms of binary opposites. Example between male and female, animate and inanimate, adult and non-adult. Nationally, there is an advantage in such binary terms in that we can choose one only as the label as distinguishes this in terms of pluses and minuses. This male and female are written as male plus male and minus male and so on. But this work well only where there is a clear distinction. Often there is indeterminacy, as with air and porridge in relation to solid or liquid. Okay, this is the end of our material. Thank you for your attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.